Would you wear all your favorite hats at the same time? Well, we wouldn't either. That is why we suggest you use only what you need. Switch off all electrical appliances and lights in unused rooms. Remember, use only what you need and save power today. Switch and save. Zesco, powering the nation.
Apple Max. Take it to the max.
Want to just get out of town with your friends and family? Are you having a corporate getaway and have no adequate transport? Then this here is what you need to listen to. A brand new 35-seater Yutong luxury bus is now up for hire at an affordable and negotiable rate. It comes fully equipped with aircon, TV for your relaxation, music soothing your trip, and DVD players to give you variety. Book now by calling 0955 0966 or 977 844 141.
What makes the new Yo-Yo Chipsy so unique? 100% natural ingredients. Nothing artificial. Just a pure experience of freshness. Chipsy potato chips. We know you'll love them.
Hey girl, what's your name? Let me talk to you for just a minute. Where you live and what you like to do?
Apple Max, baby. You need to give me Apple Max, baby.
Okay, I'm just trying to get with someone real cause you look so free. So let's chill, have a drink with a guy like me.
Apple Max, baby. You need to give me Apple Max, baby.
A quality product from Californian Beverages.
Your jungle.
It's a warm welcome and thank you for joining us for our main news desk. My name is Martha Namanje. To present it, we go straight into the headlines. A Lusaka man advises men to avoid taking phone calls from strange women. UPND cautions PF against using government resources for campaign. AU Region Committee expresses concern over weapons shipped to Africa, and Tunisia sets date for presidential runoff. Those are the headlines in the news. Join me shortly with the details. Thank you so much for staying tuned. And now the menus in detail. A man of Lusaka's Kamwala area has cautioned his fellow men against entertaining calls from unknown women. Crispin Njekwa, a victim of harassment, says over a month ago he started receiving calls from unknown women asking to meet him. He explains that he decided to meet with the two so as to stop them from harassing him, but unfortunately, upon meeting the two women, he was accused of defiling their 13-year-old daughters, whom he says he has never met. Mr. Njekwa stressed that he has never met any of the women before alleging that the women had conspired with a named police officer to arrest him and ensure he pays the women money. He has since urged men to be conscious of any suspicious calls and report to the police.
So I just want to advise my fellow countrymen, wherever you are, whenever you receive a call, I think you should making sure that those people you are going to meet, you know them, because there are these women who are coming, who have just come, and they are stealing from people using police officers. So my appeal to the police, especially the IG, Miss Stella Libongani, to make sure that his men are doing the job, because otherwise what they are doing is not good.
The African Union Region Steering Committee has expressed concern at the rate small arms and light weapons are being shipped to Africa. Head of Defense and Security Division, Dr. Tarek Sharif, says the position of the Arms Treaty is to reduce the number of arms that are being used in wars. He has called on all AU member states to ensure they promote stability in the region by promoting the shipment of firearms monitoring the shipment of firearms among member states. And COMESA Director of Foreign Affairs, Brian Chigawa, says trade of small arms is a drawback to the development of African countries.
To meet as the AU Regional Steering Committee on Small Arms and Light Weapons and DDR, because as various efforts are deployed for conflict resolution and peace building, it is noted illicit small arms and light weapons continued to be the main tool used in armed conflicts and crime and violence on the continent, and their easy availability continues to redefine the social, political and economic landscape of Africa.
Unscathed by this heinous trade, small arms are cheap, light and easy to handle, transport and conceal. A build-up of small arms alone may not create conflicts in which they are used, but it is the excessive accumulation of those weapons and the wide availability that has increased tension on our continent and continues to disturb all efforts being made to promote peace and security in this beautiful continent of ours, Africa.
Meanwhile, chairperson of the Zambia Mission for Small Arms and Light Weapons, Chilufya Wachinga, says Zambia is committed to the demolition and reintegration of peace talks in place of firearms. He says currently 6 member countries have signed up for the treaty, with 20 others yet to sign. He said this during the 4th AU meeting on small arms and light weapons steering committee held at COMESA Secretariat in Lusaka.
Zambia does realize the extent of the problem of proliferation of small arms and light weapons, and how ineffective remedies will continue to exasperate efforts to ensure sustainable peace and development on the continent. And the fact that disjointed and poorly managed efforts cannot tackle the current increasing threats of terrorism mushrooming on the continent. Zambia, through the National Commission on Small Arms and Light Weapons,
Police in Lusaka have arrested 8 people for possession of offensive weapons and assault in connection with the fracas that happened at the junction of Great East and Great North and Kasangula roads near Heroes Stadium. The commotion, which happened on Saturday 6 December, left 3 people injured. Police have since recovered 12 machetes, 2 axes, and impounded a silver Toyota Noah registration number ALK 1607, which was used to ferry the suspects. The 8 suspects are currently in police custody and will appear in court on Tuesday, 9 December 2014. This is according to a statement made available by Zambia police spokesperson Charity Munganga to Prime TV News. United Nations Independence Party UNIP has appealed to the electorate in Chilanga to vote for UNIP for economic recovery. Party President Tilenji Kaunda says UNIP has a vision for Zambia and will build what the MMD had destroyed. He adds that UNIP has managed to put the economy on track, but that the MMD destroyed a lot of companies, which therefore brought unemployment. The UNIP president was speaking in Chilanga when he met UNIP district leaders, and speaking at the same function, UNIP Deputy Secretary General Reverend Alfred Banda says Tilenji is the Jubilee leader who should be voted into office. Reverend Banda adds that 50 years after independence, it is important that the Jubilee leader be voted into office on January 20, 2015.
We had more than 255 companies run by Zambians, like you young men over there. You had jobs. We had cooperatives where there were good, profitable farmers farming being supported. We had a good educational system. We had a good healthcare system. Our friends came in their own wisdom. They sold all your companies.
UNIP 1991 inachoka Mboma, Kapena inachoka State House. 50 years yafika kuti UNIP sopano ibwerere Mboma. 50 years yafika yamene mwe bantu ba Zambia mwene na kupwesa musogoleli wa United National Independence Party amene ali Tilenji Kaunda back into State House, back into government.
You're watching Prime Television's main news with me, Martha Namanje. Still ahead, the United Party for National Development, UPND, cautions the ruling PF against using public resources in their campaigns. Details to this story plus others coming up after the break.
Share the good times with Cremica biscuits for those family moments.
You see, I have never fought with a lion. I have never hunted through the forest in pursuit of food. But I do have the fighting spirit. Because for decades, my people fought for freedom. And in 1964, we won. I love to do the Fwemba, the Kalela, the Kwasa Kwasa. I wear Chitenge. So does my girlfriend. I eat crisps, not crisps. I love Nsima, Kapenta, Chihuahua, Delele. I'm Josh, and I'm proud to be Zambian.
iConnect, celebrating 50 years of Zambia's independence. #OnlyPazed. iConnect, make it happen.
Would you wear all your favorite hats at the same time? Well, we wouldn't either. That is why we suggest you use only what you need. Switch off all electrical appliances and lights in unused rooms. Remember, use only what you need and save power today. Switch and save. Zesco, powering the nation.
What's your name? Let me talk to you for just a minute. Where you live and what you like to do?
Apple Max, baby. You need to give me Apple Max, baby.
Okay, I'm just trying to get with someone real cause you look so free. So let's chill, have a drink with a guy like me.
Apple Max, baby. You need to give me Apple Max, baby.
A quality product from Californian Beverages.
Potato sticks, freaky fries. Get that awesome crunch.
Thank you so much for staying tuned. We now continue with the main news. United Party for National Development UPND Vice President for Politics Canisius Banda has cautioned the ruling Patriotic Front PF against using public resources in their campaigns. Dr. Banda says as the nation prepares to usher in a new president, the PF as the ruling party should not take advantage of state resources to woo people with votes. He says the tendency of the party in power to use state resources during campaigns should be condemned as it plunges the country into unnecessary economic instability, especially after elections. And Dr. Banda called for the declaration of funds during the campaigns by all political parties vying for presidency. Meanwhile, Dr. Banda called on all Zambians to rally behind UPND and its leader Hakainde Hichilema in the forthcoming January 20th presidential election. He was speaking at the UPND Secretariat when he received former ambassadors who were endorsing Mr. Hichilema as a preferred candidate for the 2015 elections.
All citizens are welcome. But I want to tell you 4 things today. Number 1, we do not want the PF candidate to abuse public resources. We don't know who the PF candidate is, but whoever it will be, we do not want that individual, him or her, to abuse state public resources for party work. We know the only person allowed to use state resources in a time like this is the Republican president. So we don't want the PF candidate, and mark my words, we don't know who the PF candidate is, but whoever it is, they must use their own.
And in endorsing the UPND leader Hakainde Hichilema, former ambassadors and constituency chairperson in the MMD and PF governments called on Zambians to work with the UPND as it is the party of choice. They have noted that among other things, Zambians need a young and vibrant leader with a vision to bring economic liberty to the country with tested policies. The former ambassadors include former Ugandan ambassador in the MMD government, former MMD Chongwe constituency chairman Kennedy Mapulanga, among others.
I was chairperson for Lusaka Central constituency from 2006 up to the time PF came to power. I worked closely with Guy Scott, but now I've decided to join a party that is promising.
A number of things have gone wrong. I stayed on thinking that the party will stabilize. Alas, it hasn't.
He has been promising people, he hasn't changed. With the same HH, the same policies, other people cheat to get to the office. As you know, the last government, we were cheated. We are promised things which cannot be done. So for the time being, I think all of us must follow HH. I'm appealing.
A concerned electorate has urged Zambians not to be enticed with money at the expense of voting for the right candidate in the forthcoming presidential election. Table Monga Ekitwe resident says as Zambia goes to the polls on January 20th, 2015, it is important that people evaluate the various candidates vying for the country's top job. He says it would be unfortunate for Zambians to be fooled into voting for the rich or popular candidate with no successful track record at individual level, adding that such a candidate will have no vision for the people and the nation as a whole. He has since appealed to fellow electorates not to be wooed into the wind of calling for the most popular to rule, but scrutinizing candidates to elect a man or woman of vision.
I go for reasons. So, and I don't go for money, I follow sex. Yes, people are being deceived because they are being given to my 500 kwacha. But mind you, leadership was not bought for money. Leadership is coming from the one who is above. So, Edgar Lungu, I don't believe that is anointed. Somebody was anointed and it's a gift from God. It's not a gift. Because if Edgar Lungu was a gift from God, there wouldn't have been confusions in the PF government. So, by adopting Edgar Lungu being a leader in the PF government, I think they've destroyed the party. The party won't go further.
The Zambia Film and Television Awards held last night have awarded film producers and actors for their talents. Speaking during the event, National Arts Council Director Mlenga Kapwepwe says the filmmakers in the industry should be able to collaborate so that loyalties for their work can be collected. She has expressed hope that the event like ZAFTA will respond to the filmmakers' demands in ensuring that Zambia's best talent in the media arts industry are exploited and to ensure that the corporate world can start putting value on local production.
It is the hope and belief of the National Arts Council that events like ZAFTA Week will respond to the filmmakers' demand for interaction and training and recognition of achievements. Ladies and gentlemen, the interaction I'm talking about is being launched this evening, and it will bring together Zambia's best talent in the media arts industry. And from tomorrow to Thursday, local filmmakers will be trained in acting, in sound design, in screenwriting, in directing, producing, cinematography, and editing.
You're still watching Prime Television's main news. Join me after the break with a roundup of international news as well as sports news.
Apple Max. Take it to the max.
What makes the new Yo-Yo Chipsy so unique? 100% natural ingredients. Nothing artificial. Just a pure experience of freshness. Chipsy potato chips. We know you'll love them.
And now in international news, Mosef Mazouk and Beji SC will face off on December 21 in Tunisia's second round of presidential voting to decide who leads the nation that sparked the Arab Spring. The secularist leader Essek has beaten the incumbent Mazouk in the first round of the country's landmark presidential election, but the two men did not gain enough votes to prevent a runoff. More than 3 years since longtime ruler Zen El Badin Ben Ali was ousted by a popular uprising, Tunisia has been able to adopt a new constitution, and rival secularist and Islamist parties have largely avoided the turmoil that has plunged other Arab states wiped by popular revolts. The Islamic Edaba party did not field or endorse a candidate in the presidential election, but its supporters are believed to be backing Mosek. A court in China has sentenced 8 people to death for allegedly carrying out 2 deadly attacks in the violence-torn western Xinjiang region. In May, 39 people were killed, along with 4 attackers and more than 90 wounded, when assailants threw explosives and plunged 2 vehicles through a market in Oruk State, media said. At least 200 people have died in a series of clashes and increasing sophisticated attacks in the region and beyond. These sentences are the latest in the series of harsh punishment by Chinese authorities who are in the midst of the Strike Hard campaign against violence. For more on these and other stories, we monitored Al Jazeera.
Kenya's police squads have admitted for the first time that they carry out extrajudicial killings. Speaking to Al Jazeera's investigative unit, the officers discussed their involvement in the Kenyan government's assassination program targeting suspected Muslim radicals. Syria has reportedly called on the United Nations to slap sanctions on Israel. Syria is accusing Israel of carrying out several airstrikes on government-held areas in Damascus province. Activists say Israeli jets bombed a weapons depot near Damascus International Airport, which was being used by the military. They say another strike targeted a weapons cache near an airbase in the town of Dimas, close to the Lebanese border. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi has addressed a rally in the Indian-administered area Kashmir. Security is tight after last week's attack on an Indian army camp near the border with Pakistan. That left 21 dead and was just one of a number of attacks on Indian targets in the last week. India has banned the online taxi service Uber in New Delhi after the alleged rape of a woman passenger by one of the company's drivers. Demonstrators are demanding more steps be taken for the safety of women. The suspect's been arrested and appeared in court on Monday. Police say he was arrested for raping a woman 3 years ago, but was acquitted. Thousands of people in the Philippines' capital, Manila, have been moved to safer places ahead of the expected arrival of Typhoon Hagupit, even though the typhoon's been downgraded now to a tropical storm. It's making its way across the Philippines and is still packing winds of more than 100 kilometers an hour. A boat carrying migrants from Ethiopia sunk off Yemen's western coast, killing at least 70. Yemen's Interior Ministry says the incident was off the port city of Al-Makha. The vessel capsized because of high winds and rough waters. In a similar accident in May, about 60 migrants from Ethiopia and Somalia drowned off the coast of Yemen. 6 men who spent more than a decade behind bars at Guantanamo Bay in Cuba have been freed. The former detainees have arrived in Uruguay to be resettled there. 4 Syrians, a Tunisian and a Palestinian, were held without charge at the U.S. detention center in Cuba for 12 years.
And finally, in the news in sports, the Zambia under-20 football team has qualified to the semi-finals of the Africa Union Sports Council after beating Namibia 1-0 in a Group B game played at the Laveve Stadium in Bulawayo. The boys have sealed a semi-final place with a group game to square. The Junior Chipolopolo were the favorite coming into the game after demolishing South Africa 6-1 in the opening match of the tournament. Midfielder Lupia Kasashi scored a brace for Zambia to ensure they get maximum points and will play Lesotho in the last game in Group B. As we end our main news bulletin, here now are the headlines again. A Lusaka man advises men to avoid taking strange calls from strange women. UPND cautions PF against using government resources for campaigns. AU Region Committee expresses concern over weapons ships to Africa. And finally, in international news, Tunisia sets date for presidential runoff. That's all we had on our main news bulletin. Thank you so much for your time. My name is Mathana Manje, and on behalf of the entire news production team, it's goodbye for now and enjoy the rest of our programming.
Hey girl, what's your name? Let me talk to you for just a minute. Where you live and what you like to do?
Apple Max, baby. You need to give me Apple Max, baby.
Okay, I'm just trying to get with someone real cause you look so free. So let's chill, have a drink with a guy like me.
Apple Max, baby. You need to give me Apple Max, baby.
A quality product from Californian Beverages.
Potato sticks, freaky fries. Get that awesome crunch.
Would you wear all your favorite hats at the same time? Well, we wouldn't either. That is why we suggest you use only what you need. Switch off all electrical appliances and lights in unused rooms. Remember, use only what you need and save power today. Switch and save. Zesco, powering the nation.